Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Dave Yosta. I'm the president of the Managed Service Provider Association. Today, we are joined by Gaidar, who is the president of Acronis. Gaidar, thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me today, Dave.
Great. Before we get going, could I ask you just turn up your volume or come a little bit closer? Your mic is very low.
Okay.
Perfect. That sounds better.
I'll just try to speak up. I think it'll be okay.
Great, thanks. So, Gaidar, we reached out to you because you published an article with Forbes relating to the trends for MSPs going into 2024. And we had some pretty unique questions we wanted to ask you. So thanks for that. Before we get started, can you tell us just what your relationship is with Forbes and Acronis?
Yeah, Acronis and myself, we are members of the Forbes Technology Council. So I submit articles from time to time and they publish whatever they see fit. And also I'm providing some quotes and comments on requests from Forbes.
Okay, great. So the article that you published in December of 2023 was titled 2024 Trends for MSPs. The very first topic that you mentioned there was obviously AI, and it related to AI. The title was Dependence on AI and Will Become the New Norm, Necessitating Enhanced Training. Now, everyone's talking AI. Everyone's trying to do AI. Some are successful, some are not. What is your take on AI with regards to MSPs?
Yeah, so I see it in a way that all customers will demand it because they want to increase their productivity. So small businesses, enterprises, they want to have AI implemented, and they look at MSPs as somebody who would guide them on how to properly do that, what tools to use, how to leverage tools like Microsoft Copilot, for example. So
Okay.
I already see it happening. So when I was writing this article, I see a lot of people were anticipating that Copilot will be available to everybody. And now it is available, and a lot of our MSP partners, they are helping customers to use the AI and use Copilot. But when we think about the MSPs, there's another kind of side of the story. So MSPs also need productivity because, and you being an MSP understand that really well, that you don't have enough technicians. There's just not enough people to manage all of the requirements of your customers. And what happens is that you need to have AI automation in the tools that you use to get more productivity for your technicians. And I'll give you a specific example. So for a long time, people were talking about protecting all endpoints with EDR solution. I think now it's kind of a de facto standard. Everybody wants to deploy EDR, but they are afraid that they will get too many false positives. So it will be unmanageable. And also a lot of technicians, they're just not qualified to do it. That's why where we can use the AI is to help them to filter out those events. Like when we did it at Acronis, the Acronis EDR, that was our goal from the very beginning, to build a solution that will help the technicians to work with all those events, avoid those false positives, and provide a summary of steps that needs to be taken. So that way, everybody kind of expects that AI increase productivity, and it works on both sides, customers and the MSP serving them.
You touched on a bit of a tech shortage, which I think is a worldwide phenomenon right now. But you mentioned AI and how MSPs can use AI, and like companies are looking to MSPs for the use of AI. Where does it leave MSPs who don't know how to use AI?
Frankly, and it may sound harsh, but if you are not able to guide your customers on deploying AI and using AI now, it will be a problem. The customers will be leaving. And I already see it. So just a few weeks ago, I went to UK to meet our partners and largest partners there. And every single partner was talking about the demand for AI. And if now customers just asking to enable Microsoft Copilot, then some of more advanced customers are considering what are the other tools they could use and how that will impact their productivity, how it will impact their security. And more enterprises that working with small businesses that are managed by MSP, they are interested in how the small businesses that are using AI are protecting their data. So they are afraid of supply chain attacks. They are afraid that somebody will be influencing the data that AI that their use consumes. So it creates a lot of questions, and customers are coming to their MSPs as their um, trusted advisors on the technology. So it's kind of a there is no choice. It's like with security and something. When MSPs were considering like we don't need to provide all the security services, now everybody has to do it. Otherwise, customers are switching to somebody else. So that's exactly what's happening with AI. You have to start offering consulting and services based on AI.
Okay, so I understand that. So bottom line is MSPs have to have AI built into their portfolio. Do you know of a place where MSPs can actually gain that knowledge or gain some courses with regards to AI? Because it's such a new world. Who's actually doing that for MSPs?
Oh, that's actually I'm not sure who's doing that for MSPs. And at Acronis, I realized that this is a problem. So what
Okay,
I'm doing now is I just recently launched the MSP Academy. So my team was working on creating some content, educational content to share the best practices for the MSPs. We'll be addressing AI and usage of tools with AI, and I think it's a huge topic, and a lot of people will be covering it. But to my knowledge, something MSP specific is just not yet there. It's just being built. But I would expect that a lot of vendors will be helping MSPs to onboard the AI tools for their customers.
do you think that's going to happen in 2024?
And I would expect it. Yes, it's
Okay,
the way I see the market is developing is just there's no time to waste. Customers are already demanding it, and
sure.
MSPs will have to respond to it. And look, it's like a competitive advantage for MSPs. Like I remember when companies started to deploy EDR solutions. They used it to win customers over from the MSPs that were not offering that because they were offering better reliability, higher SLAs, and so on and so forth. But they use it as a competitive advantage. The same thing with AI. So if you're not offering those services, somebody else will come to your customer and will try to poach them.
Sure. Okay. And then, so, all right. So we got AI, and now we also touch on the realm of security around AI. And we touch on the realm of client security. So a lot of MSPs touch platforms, data, systems for the clients all across the country. They have to have some sort of level of security involved in that, whether it is an AI component or whether they have their own internal security component relating to that. How do you think security relates to AI for the MSP in order to protect the client data?
Oh, that is actually also a huge topic right now. So the way I see it is that we historically were thinking that okay, bad guys will use AI. They will create more
Sure,
different cyber threats. They will be attacking more infrastructure. They will automate it, and that's really happening. So we already see lots of cases where the small businesses are being hit by ransomware, and the ransom amounts are tiny, but because they can do it at scale and attack lots of businesses, the cyber criminals can make it worth it, right? So
sure.
just I just had a meeting with a partner from Greece, and that partner just in the last couple of years had thousands of negotiations of ransom payments for those small businesses. So it's already happening, and we're kind of aware of that. But how AI changes things is kind of an interesting approach how you can look at it. A lot of MSPs protect the critical infrastructure. So you'll have backup for your servers, virtual machines, you'll have security on most of the machines, but then for most of the laptops and workstations, you'll just have some basic security, maybe Windows Defender deployed
Sure,
there, and that's it. And it was okay in the past, but now any of those machines can be used to penetrate your network. So somebody can attack one machine that you don't even consider it to be important. It has no data, but it has access to your network. So it will have access to whatever you have on your network. And now with AI, it actually gets worse because if you use tools that pull data from your databases, that machine that has nothing on it, and all data may be stored somewhere in Micro 365, but still that machine has access to your private information. Somebody can steal it or somebody can corrupt it. So that kind of opens up the possibilities for attackers to get access to your data through those endpoints that you didn't consider to be important enough. And we know that lots of MSPs are not even backing up those endpoints because they think there's no data. We have an image, we'll just reimage them and nothing will happen. But
Sure.
now, if those endpoints have access to your data, that's an issue. Then the other thing that's happening now, and I think it will be a huge trend, is that AI is as good as the input it receives. So it learns on data. And if you modify the data that it's using for learning, you can influence the decisions. And there are lots of famous cases when some companies were using AI to profile candidates for work, and they just use incorrect data sets. So some of the candidates were like racially profiled. And
Sure.
that was a mistake, or they were learning on historical data. But what happens now is that attackers clearly understand that you have AI that is doing some financial transactions or working with some private data, and that AI will be making decisions based on the learning data set. Why don't we modify that learning data set so AI will be making decisions that we want to make, right?
So there,
I'm always,
there
yeah,
So
I'm sorry.
sorry, there is a very close relationship at the moment between AI and cybersecurity for MSPs. I think we're all seeing that. I don't think everyone understands it, but I do agree with you. And there are a number of cases. I read one yesterday about a major hack of millions of SQL records. I don't know the
Yeah.
details, but it is happening. So an MSP, we know this, okay? We know that we have to implement AI. We know that we have to still maintain security and some level of compliance for all the clients. How do MSPs gather all that information? Now, you mentioned in your third point in your article about a centralized platform. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Could you explain that very quickly?
Yeah. So that is related to productivity of MSPs and reliability of the service. So a lot of
Gotcha.
MSPs have lots of tools, different uh, software packages that deployed for different customers. And you acquire a new customer, they already had something, they had multi-year agreement, and you just take it on and you maintain whatever they had. And then over time you'll standardize it, but you have to maintain lots of different tools. The problem with maintaining lots of tools is that have to spend a lot of time doing that. So imagine updating all of it, making sure that everything is current configured, and people make mistakes all the time. Like,
Sure.
more tools you have to manage, more mistakes you'll make. So there's a huge demand for centralization, for integration of different tools into one package. Like what we built at Acronis from the very beginning, we built a platform for integration. Yes, we have cybersecurity, we have data protection, disaster recovery, and we want the service providers to use those tools, but they don't have to because they can use the platform to integrate whatever they have. So they may use backup or cybersecurity from Acronis, and a lot of people do, and then use something else from some other vendor, but then eventually integrate it so they will have one dashboard, one single pane of glass that will allow them to see what's going on and provide reports to their customers. So by mentioning this, everybody becomes a platform. What I meant is that there's an expectation that whatever tool you use will be you'll have an opportunity to integrate it with whatever else you use, and
Sure.
many vendors will be providing those platforms. And if you think about the other guys like ConnectWise or Kaseya, they do provide the platform. They integrate the other tools. It's just a different level of integration that those vendors provide. But this is the
Okay.
expectation.
So, so you mentioned a few other vendors, and we have a few minutes left here. Now, Acronis obviously does a lot of this. You're doing the AI model. You're focusing on a lot of the security as well. How does Acronis differ from the Kaseya or the ConnectWise?
I would say we complement each other because we
Okay,
provide additional tools. So let's say when we were designing our security, we were looking at it from a perspective to provide low overhead and from different perspectives. So let's say we wanted to provide low price because we already provide backup and people pay us for backup. We can sustain that low price over extended period of time, meaning that we can offer this efficient pricing that would allow MSPs to protect all the endpoints. it's kind of one thing what we can do. But then the other thing was we want to have one agent, one policy, one console. So you don't spend a lot of time onboarding your technicians. You don't spend a lot of time maintaining the solution. So it's optimized for the MSP scenario. So again, less time spent on it. Supporting one agent, again, less time spent on it. So our whole idea was as we provide this low overhead. And then we built this very deep integration between data protection and cybersecurity. So the idea was that the cybersecurity can be enhanced by backup. Let's say if everything goes south, you can recover and you can have automated remediation from a backup. But then the security can learn from the secondary data set. You can detect malware that is hard to detect on your live system in the backup. So those integrations allow us to provide higher level of security and also help us to provide fewer false positives that are so annoying for MSPs. So that's the differentiation. We just have low overhead and deep integration between security and data protection. Hello? Oh, I don't hear you anymore.
Hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you now. Yeah,
Okay, there we
you
go.
disappeared.
I was just saying thank you very much, and thanks for that bit of insight. And I think that'll be it for the day. Have a great day.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you,
Thanks.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.